says live on 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Maybe there's no video.
It worked for you before.
I would guess restart the camera itself.
Your phone in.
Take no magic damage. I just stand there.
Yeah, I've been trying to clear out my backlog of games from like 2012 onward. I got a lot of games I need to play. So I did beat Undertale. I haven't started another one yet, but I'm gonna.
Daniel loves Monster Hunter. I was trying to get back into that again.
Oh, I remember your Monster Hunter kick.
Such a silly game. That game was fun because like you sit there for hours. You could play that game all day and only accomplish one thing.
If that.
If that, but you feel so accomplished. Like you'll waste the whole day trying to get like one rare monster drop.
Hey!
Hi.
Hi. Hold on, let me do the video thing.
Yeah.
You might want to mute the video and just deal with this audio.
Yeah, don't listen to the YouTube audio, just us. Do you want to put her in the thing?
Yeah, I'll mute the audio real quick. Hold on.
Yeah.
1 second.
You have to put it in first before you plug it in.
Alright, cool. Alright, I see you guys.
Other ways so you can plug it in.
Yeah.
I have to find a place to put my phone so that this will make sense.
Yep, perfect.
And then here.
Okay.
Hey!
Oh boy.
And Matt, if you want to do Bluetooth
Okay.
speakers so she's louder than you
Such a precarious.
I don't know.
Look at this Frankensteinian setup here.
It's like when you had a Sega Genesis and you wanted to use the Sega Mega Drive attachment and the Sega CD attachment on top of that. They call that the Tower of Power.
Bluetooth's on.
can. Yes.
It is.
Yeah. This is
Okay.
the
It's upside
HMDX or something like that.
Here, I'll do it.
Thanks.
I like it. Refresh it, maybe. It's loading.
I think you swipe it away.
Go down. No, we
Nope.
just. Oh.
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 Yeah, I mean,
have like a window and window.
Those
Hey.
So where's
Good. Yeah, we can see you.
Cool.
I don't see anything called
I'm gonna keep
HDMI.
the chat open in case like the audio gets like
Okay.
fucky and I need
Yeah,
to
we
like say
can.
something. I'll type it to you.
Okay.
Is it
Yeah.
Those are paired already, so go down. Maybe is it the F?
SF or 5F?
Maybe it's that.
Pin
Yeah, it uses a pin.
iPhone.
Oh shit, I'm gonna need to get some dice. Hold up. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, this is on. Passcode is 0000 for this thing.
Okay, well now it's not here anymore. Could you have already paired to this at some point?
No,
I
I
never
don't
did.
think so.
Do you have to like hold a button to go into pairing mode?
No, usually it just pops up and. Those are already paired. Refresh. It's on. Available devices. Ah!
Oh,
I tried to put it into pairing mode.
sure. So it might be this one.
That's what I said before. I look that we have no idea what that is. It says pairing. You could also just plug in if you need the
Could somebody
dongle.
send me a
Not so much
picture of my sheet?
That's you, Sheldon.
Well, I mean, she's pretty low.
it's good enough, I think.
I know, but usually it gets hard to hear.
So that's on?
It's on.
There's no light that shows that
It is. It should have a light on.
on the top
It's like on the side. It's not on the top. Oh gosh.
Is it? Okay.
Oh. He just like,
Nipped at you, didn't he?
well, I didn't even feel him nip at me. He just like hit my leg. I was
though. I thought I
like,
heard him over
Whoa!
there. I thought I heard him over there.
oh, I thought I did too. So like when his head hit my leg, I was like, whoa.
Scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, it's very loud.
You looking for him?
Oh my god.
Listen, dude, you could have to stay in one
He
place.
teleported.
He does. Did you turn it back on?
Yeah.
Here we go.
It's usually pretty simple.
Well, let me see if I compare to my.
Yeah.
Jumbo shrimp winky face.
That's Matt.
Yeah. Figured.
Hannah made that up.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything either.
I send them to you, Matilda.
Thanks, Sheldon.
Okay, well,
Perfect.
well,
Weird.
Okay. Yeah, the speaker will have to deal with that later.
we'll try again later.
Yeah.
On.
Okay.
She's louder than Al was.
That's true.
This is true. This is already an improvement as is. All right. Well, with that, we can, now that we've got Matilda here, we're all set up. We can go ahead and get moving.
Oh, question.
Mhm.
We haven't had a rest between the last time I was here and then the last session. right?
No, you've only had a short rest.
What I missed
Okay.
last time, I think I wasn't there for your last session.
You weren't there for like the last 2 or 3 sessions.
Yeah.
I think.
Long story short, they left the roadhouse, traveled through the swamp, and they are now at the castle in the swamp. And they have found that the castle is
Bring it back.
occupied by cultists, walking lizards, and walking frogs. They're lizard folk and frog folk.
Sweet. Okay.
And they have managed to infiltrate the castle and learn some details about what's going on. More or less, they know now that the stolen goods have made their way to the castle. They are undercover, disguised as cultists, and learning that
I'll take the brownies.
learning that the lizard folk and the frog people don't exactly get along.
Oven thing.
And that but they don't know exactly what the cult is doing with the stolen goods, so they're trying to gather information right now, and that's pretty much where we left it. So we know that the cultists are here with the goods. We know that the cult doesn't particularly care for this swamp, and that legend of that black dragon. Apparently, that legend is real.
Okay.
So they don't know how that ties into all this. So right now they have a whole lot of pieces of information, but they don't have like what ties everything together at the moment.
We know that the stolen goods are brought here. Definitely they come here. They're sorted and they go somewhere else. We're not exactly sure.
Okay. All right. Got it.
So we are one step closer to finding the ultimate mystery of where this crap goes. But there are still more steps in the chain.
Okay. Great. So I just have to like focus really hard because I think like the further people are from the mic, the more like crackly it sounds. So Al, I hear you almost perfectly, but Sheldon's a little like fuzzy.
Okay,
I'll DM this session then.
we'll just flip it around.
Sheldon, your character sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, no, that was a really bad roll.
Yeah, the annoying one and the creepy one.
Oh, that's how we're describing it now.
We've got, Viridin the glamour boy, and then Wilbur the whatever the hell you want to describe that freak as.
The
Oh,
doc.
Al.
The doc kid.
You should show her the kitten.
Let's find the kitten. Where's the
He's
kitten?
coming. He's under me.
You gotta see this kitten. This kitten is best viewed in 360-degree video.
He's over here. What are you doing, little bitties? What are you doing, little biddles?
His name is Pharaoh, like the grain.
Oh, he's
Jump.
in the box.
If you go to the 360 video and you look at the Groupon box, you might see him poke his head out.
It's absolutely something you can do.
Mm-hmm.
The box.
So where are our characters right now?
In the Great Hall.
Okay, so we've just like poking our heads in.
You are still a bat.
Oh, good.
We never changed it because
Good.
we're
This
like,
is true. No, you guys are totally you're not peeking in the Great Hall, you're in the Great Hall.
Oh, okay.
yeah, we've just been like walking around.
Yeah, you guys have just sort of been just like schmoozing around the castle.
But now with your draconic speaking skills, we could probably talk to the lizard folk a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Not while I'm a bat.
No, we don't need you as a bat anymore.
Okay.
Well, okay, we might have to go back into that other room and get another robe.
I was thinking I could like cling
Semantics.
under your robe and like whisper what they were saying, like the Google in-ear translator things.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's what you were doing.
It's a lot of water.
I know. Last week I sent pictures of the maps
Burn
in the
them.
chat.
Oh.
Can you find them and send them to Matilda?
Because of the. You want this one?
No, not yet. I got hot.
Okay.
I was colder than I got.
All right. Get this show on the road here. All right. So yeah. So you guys are in 1Q on the map.
Yeah, I don't have mine either. Bro.
Somebody want to put that up to the camera real quick, just so I can.
Al's gonna send you a picture of it.
Oh, perfect. Okay, great.
Unless you wanted to just take a new picture and send it. But
Yes. You guys are currently in the mess hall, where you can see this is again, the mess hall is as you'd imagine, this is where a lot of the cultists meet up. This is where they eat and gather.
the meet up and the eat up.
Yeah. But you also see that they have sort of split the room in half, and they're using half of the room as a sort of assembly area. And you see these low-level cultists diligently working on these, sorting these goods. And you can see that the area where they're working is being supervised by 3 of these more heavily armored cultists, and 2 of them actually seem to have some guard drakes on leashes. They're just sort of patrolling and securing this area, it seems. So you have some cultists that are just lounging about, and the other ones are hard at work sorting all this stuff while they're under very heavy guard. So yeah, so that's in the mess hall, 1Q, so right here on the map. Alright, so it's your call, guys.
Can we say we grabbed another little outfit for
Yes.
Billy? Alright.
I'm just because I'm not gonna get hung up on
Yes,
that too
we're gonna
much.
walk back through the kitchen and then into that room and then open the closet.
What's the name of the castle?
Naratar, so N-A...
Oh my gosh, that was weird. Man, I felt my ear hair. That long one that's over here. I have a long ear hair on my earlobe. And I sometimes get one over here, and I get one on my arm. I get weird hairs. Weird. Ooh. Did you send me map pictures?
I did.
Okay. Matilda, did you get those pictures of the map?
Who's the
I
one
got
from?
the picture of the castle I'm looking at now.
N-A...
Yeah, that's the one I sent.
Y-T-A-R.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right.
Okay. Yeah, so we could go north, I remember, to that spire, or that little building in the middle, or the northeast corner.
Right. So you can either continue up to this spire here, or go out the door into the central area.
Yeah. What do you guys
What
think?
letter are we looking at?
You're in 1Q. So on the it's sort of the largest room next to
That
the
little like long bit below the top left tower?
Yes.
Got it, okay, I see it. So we're trying to decide where to go next?
Yep.
Okay.
Up or out.
In the up area, does that go downstairs or upstairs?
Downstairs. I figured that out.
What about the other ones?
So, for example, in A, that staircase goes down.
I can't see anything away from it.
Okay.
Sorry, I can't find the right
Would you just go into the chat?
So,
Exactly.
I'll show you.
I'll resend it.
Down.
No, make him see.
one. Oh, no,
Yeah.
that's not it.
No, that's it. It's right there. It's on the right side.
I do.
These things come with Messenger.
Most of them go down.
They do? Okay.
Most of them go down. The only ones that go up is E and
So there's top left, middle room, and top right. Which ones of those go up?
so top left. Well, if I'm looking from my left.
From where we are, that would.
So where you are, so the one nearest you goes down.
Okay.
Well, the other spire, all the way on the other side of the castle, goes up.
Okay.
Go up.
I think we
Yeah.
should go up
In the
because
middle.
there's not much up, but there's much down so far.
Well, hold on, it should be the other way around. This is a 3-story. This castle's 3 stories.
Oh, true, but underneath had caves.
Right.
I guess just the spire closest to us.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Are we trying to like stealth? Like, is our presence known here? You talked about we found some stuff about the lizard people, but like, should I be disguising myself at this point? Would that be smart?
We're all wearing cultist robes, and we've just been walking around.
Yeah, so I think a human disguise would be best.
Okay, got it.
And I'm kind of still picturing Gilius like clinging to someone's leg, so he isn't seen.
We got you an outfit.
Yeah, I'm still wondering if Gilius would hide in it though, or not. Maybe with a hood.
Well, Garen took an outfit out of a closet,
Mm-hmm.
and there were more, so
Okay.
we'll just
Yeah.
say you guys are
But
wearing
so
those.
we're all pretty much disguised already.
Yeah. No
We're
one
okay.
suspects anything
Hmm?
from us.
Yes.
Just wanted to know if that was already established, or like, should I think about doing that now?
That's down.
Yeah, we're all in robes. We, if you want to, I would say definitely disguise as a human, just so we don't draw too much attention. But I guess we're already cat people and a mer dude,
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We're gonna go R.
and Wilbur's just like hovering.
Fire looks good.
R.
Okay.
R.
All right. So you proceed up to R. All right. As you enter the southwest tower, you enter into the antechamber of the tower. And as you walk into this room, the first thing that hits you immediately is a moldy stench on the air. And as you sort of walk in here, your boots make that sort of familiar wet squish as you walk in, and you see that as you walk into this room, into this antechamber, it's muddy swamp water once again. And looking around the
It's
room,
chilling.
you can see that there are cracks in the foundation.
Oh no.
Here.
It's so difficult.
We're not walking into the cracks.
There's cracks in the foundation where swamp water appears to be seeping into this chamber.
This place is a mess.
They got water penetration. That's going to be impossible to fix.
And you see that there is another series of planks that have been set up to create a walkway across the floor.
Their map is terrible. It doesn't have any detail of any of these
No,
planks.
so you have to explain everything. So other than that, you don't really see anything here other than that this is just a sort of setup to continue moving forward. So you can continue to sort of slump along the swampy ground, or
Yeah.
you can walk up the plank walkway to the next area.
Plank.
Yeah, we'll plank up there.
Okay, proceeding up the planks. As you approach this next area, which is going to be 1S. So as you are making your way into this area, as you make your way into this area, you can actually, before you reach it, you can hear sort of like a thumping sound coming from inside of where this area is. And as you walk inside, you can actually see a lizard folk and a bullywog that both appear to be wrestling with one another.
Oh snap, you guys.
And you can actually look, and as you sort of walk in this room, you see that they appear to be actually wrestling with each other, and you see that they're fighting for control of a spear.
Oh. A spade?
A spear.
Spade.
Like this is no, yeah, a sharp. No, in this case,
Shovel.
this appears to be actually like this looks to be a spear of bullywog design, so it's more primitive. You also know that you've probably observed that you don't see a lot of lizard folk with spears. They seem to favor more blunt instruments.
Okay.
So they appear to be wrestling for control of this spear as you enter this room. And there's the lizard folk seems to have the bullywog sort of backed into a corner and seems to be overpowering the bullywog.
Yes, this
But-
is our chance.
But the bullywog, he's even though the bullywog's not as strong as the lizard folk is, he seems to just be like and also concerned the bullywogs are usually smaller than lizard folk.
Yeah.
He's just not letting go of this spear. And as you all sort of make your way into this room, they both sort of like, they don't really stop what they're doing too much, but they keep wrestling, but they both notice you. And as they see you all enter this room with your cultist robes on, you see that they sort of like go to distance themselves from one another, and the spear sort of like flies a little bit in your direction, but just away from the both of them. And the bullywog and the lizard folk both kind of like fall flat. It's kind of like when two people are pulling on something and they both let go and they both go flying and they fall on their ass. So they both sort of fall on their ass here, and they look to, and they both sort of like look up at you. And the bullywog sort of like has that like familiar, like, it's like, you know, the throat is out as they seem to do when they're agitated. And the lizard folk sort of like looks at you guys too, and he's and they like so they're both like looking at you now, and the spear is kind of like closer to you now than it is to either of them. And you hear the bullywog. You can't understand what they speak because you don't speak their language, but it appears to like make a sound in whatever language they speak. So to you, it just sounds like a croak. And then the lizard, and then the
Let's say they speak Wog.
sure, we'll just make them a link to this.
The
speak.
Hi,
The
Wog.
bullywog speak Wog.
And then you, the lizard folk who can speak Draconic, and I believe Gilead speaks Draconic.
Yes.
He says in Draconic, he says, you no see this.
He said we don't see it. Someone put on the best booming voice and say, what is the meaning of this?
Well, should we do that, or
Oh.
should we give a pass to the lizard folk? Get them to like us, because then we can start that uprising.
We could give him a
I
spear.
know, but I like him more.
We
I
could
don't
give
Poker.
we could give the lizard folk a spear or something.
Yeah.
Lizard folks seem like dicks.
I mean, yeah,
The bullywogs seem like dicks.
yeah.
Cool dicks.
Okay, we don't even know who we're helping.
I thought we said last time we were gonna pick the lizard folk.
We can grab the spear and then just see what's going on
Are we
I
gonna-
translate.
here. Yeah, let's see. I pick just the spear.
I was thinking we'd pick it up and give it to the
Go on.
lizard folk and be
And
like, yeah,
hold
we
it
didn't
up
see
away from
anything, and then leave.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's what I thought was cool. I made a group decision, but
Yeah. So what you
Well,
all?
whatever anyone wants to say, I'll translate it for him.
like I thought that would be cool to do.
What
Get
do
them
you
on our
want?
side. I wanted to pick up the spear and give it to the lizard folk and be like, yeah, we didn't see anything.
Or
And
or
then-
give the bullywog back its spear and then give the lizard folk something else, just from our stash. Just because we have, I'm
Fair
sure you're
fight.
loaded with weapons, right?
make it a fair fight.
Not even a
I
fight.
don't
I,
think they're gonna fight. I just
like, hey, here's something better.
I just wanted to pick the lizard folk and then like
I think so.
and then he'd be like, they like us better.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
definitely in agreement.
Okay.
Right. So what are we doing?
I'm gonna pick up the spear
Okay.
and give it to lizard folk and be like, yeah, we didn't see anything.
Okay. So do you like walk over and hand him the spear, or do you like toss him the spear?
Can he catch it if I toss it?
I would say so. I would say you sort of like throw it like
Sideways.
Go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here.
Yeah, I'll throw it. I don't want to be like, I'm a lizard and like, not,
Okay.
not grab
He
it.
has to roll for it.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
you toss this lizard folk this spear, and he goes, and the bullywog like starts like trying to back away like crab style. And as this happens, he like just goes upside the head of this bullywog, and like look at the joy, and like he takes it, and he goes upside this bullywog's head, and then you just see him just start just like stabbing the shit out of this bullywog.
Oh my god!
And
Wow.
I truly did not know a murder was about to happen. I thought they were just fighting over the spear.
Yeah, me too.
Jeez.
And he says, after he sort of like, he stabs him to the point where you know that bullywug is dead. And he like looks over at you all and he says, "Must you?" Let me see. What did he say? He says,
Yes, Sheldon, what did he say?
"Yeah." So he said after he does this, he looks over at you all and says, "You all can't. You all no say. You all no see."
He doesn't want us to say we saw anything.
Why kill him? Or
Why kill?
He says, "Why no kill? You see how they treat us. We get back at them."
Yes. Yes.
I'm gonna go to the bullywug's dead corpse and check it.
Okay.
And I say to him,
Its status.
Okay.
For death?
It'd be a medicine check.
Yeah.
and I say to him something along the lines of,
Hey, Yuri.
"Oh,
Well,
he
that
did.
because Timber doesn't know.
Natural
magic.
one."
Ah. Yuri, you got
I
that
just
staff.
step on the body.
Yeah, like you go to walk up and you step into
I
this.
wish
I think you could absorb him, get another charge for the
Oh,
staff.
these guys.
Yeah.
I tell him, you know, stop bullywugs one at a time. You need to stop all at once.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
So you need to be sneaky about it, and then be strong about it, but no in between.
He says
You speak lizard folk so good.
he says he pick on me. He pick on me for weeks. I had enough.
Be quiet next time. Get more people next time. Get your people.
He says
Get everyone to stand against them.
he says must hide. Must hide.
Yeah.
Ask him why are the bullywugs
Why
commanding you to do things?
why bullywugs in charge?
He says robed ones put them in charge.
Why?
We're the rogue ones.
Oh yeah.
So,
Why
Well,
them?
we're-
Why
we
not
can be
you?
like novices and
Um,
accolades.
he says he says more bullywugs than us.
Change that.
So and then he
this is
says
so good.
he says
Has
you-
Gillies' alignment changed?
Am I the only one
It's
who
fiery
likes
right
the frog people?
Kinda.
Yeah.
Well, no, they're not that bad.
They look cool, but I don't like their personalities.
No.
um,
They're mean. They're mean.
They are mean. Did you see them croak at
What
me
if
last
it's
time?
like
yeah, they did.
They all were croaking at me. Hated it.
And so he looks and he says, you see him start like trying to like cover
Can
the.
you absorb this corpse in your staff?
I could try. Yuri's gonna take
I
his
think
staff and stick it
There
in
you
the
go.
corpse of the blue one. See if anything happens.
Like we saw it originally inside a corpse as if it was
Yeah.
absorbing it.
It takes. You understand that from what you saw, it seems to take time though, like more time than you all probably have to do that.
How
What would
muddy
it
is
do
it here?
to recharge it?
You leave the staff in a fresh kill, and throughout the rest, it absorbs it into its being. So it's not quick. It takes hours.
I know, but does it
Oh.
recharge it? I'm saying.
It would.
That's what it does.
Yeah.
How much
But
mud
it's
is
not
in here?
depleted right now.
No, it still has 2 charges.
So you don't need to do
How much
How-
mud is in here?
In this particular room, I would say there's about.
Well, what about before the room we came? That
Yeah.
The
was
room you
dirty.
came in it's fairly muddy. It's not like super deep mud, but it's
Oh.
definitely covering the whole floor.
Well, can we hide a body in there?
I would say by itself there wouldn't, unless you like scoop some mud up and make a mound of mud.
And
No.
there's a mound.
However,
Yeah, but if you mount it in the corner, corners always have mounds.
You could toss it out a window into the
Your
moat.
go on the monster manual and read what your spell does. Read what, because I told you that the
What'd you say,
staff
Matilda?
casts a spell.
So
It
just
casts reanimate dead.
Yeah,
Go ahead
into
and
the
read
moat.
What that says.
Yeah,
It should be in the
She can
PHP.
reanimate the bullywog.
Yeah, I know.
That's also an option.
Yeah.
Or we could toss
But
it out
do
the
you-
window.
do
The
you
window.
want-
The second story window.
No, you're on the
No,
first
we
floor.
should pull them, throw them out the window.
Well,
But do we want to reanimate the bullywog?
Well,
it would be
hold
under
on.
our command.
Now it's about how it would be reanimated, though.
Yeah, it might look awful. It might look like a zombie.
It absolutely
Like the
will. It
thing
has
at
a
the door
lot
stop.
of spear punctures in it.
There's
Well,
also that.
actually, in this case, I don't believe it would come back as a
Raised dead?
zombie. It wouldn't.
Is it raised dead?
It cannot
Raised
be,
dead, yeah.
It cannot
Okay.
be raised.
Alright. You return a dead creature you touch. The life
That's
is-
like a revival spell. It's not animate corpse or something like
Or
that.
maybe it's.
Yeah, raised
it?
dead
Because
is.
raised dead is like one of us dies and we want to revive them.
Oh, okay.
Not under your control.
Kind of like revivify.
Yeah, this
Mhm.
says if the creature's soul is both willing and at liberty to
Well,
return to
hold
body.
on, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's like-
whatever.
it's
Did
a
you
short-
write down what the spell? Did you write down what it does?
No.
You should
Animate
probably write down
dead?
what it does.
Animate dead sounds like it.
Yeah, animate.
Animate dead sounds.
Yeah, so be sure when we know you add that to your notes so you remember what this thing even does.
Let's see.
Matilda, how are you doing?
I'm good, yeah.
That's
How cold is it?
Where?
This is snow.
Oh, creates an
Oh,
undead
cold. It's
servant.
pretty, it's like in the 50s usually the coldest it gets right now. But, it's fall, so the leaves are all orange and shit, so it's pretty cool.
That's cool.
What's that?
Okay.
I know, right?
It was
got it.
87 today.
Yeah, so
It says
yeah.
small or
Bitches.
small humanoid.
humanoid.
We
Very
felt
good.
lucky.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So
We cannot raise it.
it is a humanoid technically.
It's got 2 arms and legs.
And a head. It has a
And a
head.
head. I
Now-
forgot about the head.
So if you did that, you could either raise it as if you choose.
Raise it as your own.
You can either choose flesh or bone or whatever. So if you choose flesh, it becomes a zombie bullywog. If you choose bones, it becomes all the flesh sort of melts off and you just have a skeleton of a bullywog.
Oh, that look cool. But
That would not
would
work
give
well
everything
here.
away.
That
Yeah.
would not work well here.
Yeah, we're not gonna.
Neither one of them would work well
the
here.
flesh one won't.
So, for example, let's say that you just wanted to use this for the purposes of hiding a body.
Tell it to walk off a cliff. Just walk into the swamp. Oh my God, Sheldon, you're
It's-
right.
Just walk away.
Well, no. You could bring it back as a skeleton and then destroy it.
Or you
Yeah,
could.
but there'd be bones in the ground.
There'd be bones, but that's easier to sort of explain than a body.
Okay.
Oh,
No, not really.
I guess because it would have been.
Well, because it kind of implies that it's been long dead as
Okay.
opposed to recently dead, you know?
I gotta imagine
Or-
though.
oh, you know what we could do? We could just chop it up and give it to the chef.
collect all the
I had that idea, but I was like, are they going to do that? That's kind
Or
of
we
He
could tell it to
is-
be a zombie.
He is
We
tired
could.
of eating
bone
flatfish.
salt.
a bone saw.
Too soon.
It is.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah, so we could tell it to be a zombie, push it out a window, and then be like, just keep walking north, just keep going. And then it's a self-disposing corpse. I don't know if that's a good idea, but it's hilarious. Oh, we need to dispose of a body. Just tell it to walk away.
And it'll do that for 24 hours.
Does the zombie bullywog? It would be missing It would have the wounds and
We
all
can't
that.
have a
It would be
zombie
completely
bullywog
devoid of
around.
all flesh. It would just be a skeleton.
A
No, the
zombie.
zombie version, the flesh version.
Oh, it would still totally have the wounds.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
You
And
can't
then
have that
if
one.
the other bullywogs see it, they're gonna know what's up.
You can throw a robe on it.
Oh my gosh.
Cultist bullywog.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess our two options is make it a skeleton and then chop up the bones and hide them in the mud, or chop it up and give it to the chef.
Or any other options, we could just push it out a window
Yeah.
Well,
without even
Again, you're on
animating
the
it.
first floor.
So
I mean,
can
it's
we
muddier outside.
store its
There's a boat
bones
out
in
there.
our packs? The entire
Could.
You
skeleton.
could, I suppose.
We'll just do that.
I want to order it to just like be standing still as a skeleton and then just explode out into bones and then like make xylophone sounds as they all land on the ground. Like,
I'm like, let's set it on fire?
also an option.
Mhm.
We could also stage the crime scene in such a way that it looks like it died via mishap. Like, we catch its toe in a mouse trap. We put like a sharp piece of art on the wall and make it look.
I don't know. I say we tie a rock to him and check him out into the moat.
Yeah.
Can you even fit through a window here? Aren't they just like small windows?
Yeah, you're on the bottom floor of a guard tower.
Let's do the bone thing.
We're
Okay.
on the bottom
Yeah.
floor.
Yeah, we can, it could be a skeleton.
Mhm.
True skeleton.
Alright, so this is where Yuri does her thing then.
And the magic word is
I'm not good at that.
skeletism.
Skeleton.
Bonafide.
So just describe to me how you're going to use your staff.
Oh, right. I hope
Skeletism.
that in some way, I wonder how big the staff is, because I would think she would just do like Nanny McPhee and just.
It's probably about 4 feet.
All the
4 feet
flesh
tall.
just flies off in little noodle strips.
What's that one movie where the guy's face melts into a skull?
Alien.
That's
No.
Aliens.
that's
No, Tales of the
That's
Crypt.
Raiders of the
Indiana
Lost
Jones.
Ark.
Indiana
Yeah.
Jones. Okay, that. I imagine that happens.
Raiders of the So no Nanny McPhee? No.
There's.
Boom!
If you want,
No, you can still do
you're
it.
the
I'm saying
sorcerer.
what happens after you do that.
Ah.
Yeah, sure, you're the sorcerer.
What do they say? Raiders.
Oh, what's
Raiders
this?
face
Yeah, what is
melt
the
and
chest?
gift.
Be like,
I
rise,
think
my
it's gonna
bony
show-
friend.
Biblical.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's the Lost Ark.
Oh,
It's the Ark of the Covenant.
Ark of the Covenant.
Oh, shit.
You channel power through this staff. You see the velvet light sort of emanate out of it, and it sort of fills the room. And the energy sort of like travels down through the top of the staff, through the bottom of the staff, and into the body of this bullywog. And as this happens, you just sort of see like almost like an acid burn. The flesh of it just sort of melt off. And you sort of see like the skeleton of it sort of like almost step out of its own skin and stand up, and it sort of like comes down like this, and then it comes back up,
Al, you should
and
talk
it
to
makes
him
like
and be
it like sort of makes
we'll help you this time.
it
Let
like
this be a
opens
lesson
its
to
mouth
you or
as if
something
it was
like that.
trying to croak, but it can't do that anymore. So now it just sort of jangles there in front of you, like almost like it's waiting orders.
I translate for Cadence, and I tell the lizard man what she said, which is, let this be. We'll let this pass this time, but let this be a lesson for you. Keep your troubles quiet.
Yeah, how does he react to the animated skeleton?
So he sees this, and he is
Dominique,
like his eyes get like kind of wide
can you
because he's
dismiss
just
the
like,
skeleton and then
what
it's
the hell? Like like you guys just use
Yeah.
like these guys are not used to magic at all, and you just like he just murdered this thing, and then you all like brought it back to life in front of him. So he's actually kind of terrified of that.
Yeah.
And he sort of like backs away from you all, and you see him sort of like hold like the spear, and he sort of like grips it kind of tight, and he starts to back away from you all, and he goes like, you friend?
Friend.
Yes, we're just trying to get rid of the body. Crazy.
Tell them we're on the lizard folk side.
We're on the lizard folk side. We're on lizard folk side.
Well, I guess we can smash its bones.
Well, I was asking if she could just,
Just tell it to walk into
Dismiss-
the mud and
kinda
then
like
dismiss
dismiss
it, and I'm guessing it's gonna fall apart.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And then like the little bones are gonna be caught up in the mud and sink, and that's easy.
I feel like Little Bones has to be a song.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if the group wants to now dispose of the skeleton, how does Yuri dispose of the skeleton now?
Alright. Yeah.
I was thinking just walk it into the other room with all the mud, and then just say like, okay, you're done, and just lie down or whatever.
Lie down, fall apart.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing when the spell ends, it all the like magic keeping the bones together just stops and it just crumbles.
Yeah, I think that is what it does. I don't know anything about dismissing it. I just know that if I don't give it any command, that it just doesn't.
You can
Yeah.
end a
Do
spell at any
anything.
time as a
Yeah.
free action. Just you stop concentrating on it.
Alright. But this room
This is water.
is more muddy than the other
Just
one,
let
right?
it know.
The room with the scaffolding that we were just in is more muddy.
Okay, so we can do that. We can. You guys said we can hide the bones in there, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, my eye is burning.
Like a hair in your eye, maybe?
Was it from
No.
the hot wings? Did it get in?
It just always does that.
Oh, okay.
Cat allergies?
Oh, maybe.
Huh.
I don't know.
My eyes burn every day. I know how it feels.
Okay, I have an extra clarity.
Yeah, we could say just
Matt
do
has
that.
some eye drops too if you need those.
this kitty's
Oh.
Yeah.
Cute. Cute.
Instead of maybe what's okay, so yeah, so how do you want to get rid of the skeleton?
All right. Well, I'll just look to the skeleton and I'll point to the other room, the muddier one.
Okay, the skeleton just sort of like, it just sort of like walks off, like in like a weird way. Imagine a frog like walking on two legs, so it just sort of like lumbers into the room,
Ugh.
like walking like that. And now I would imagine that you don't have to give oral commands to it. You can like kind of just control it with your mind.
Ah.
So what do you tell it? It goes into the room and
I don't know how to dismiss it other than to say dissemble yourself.
again, like
Yeah.
it's you can command
Yeah.
it just by thinking
By
whatever you
thinking,
want,
yeah.
and it just has to do that. So you just think like just dismiss,
Yeah.
and it just sort of like just falls over, and the bones like separate. So now, they just
Squishing.
separate. Now they're just bones.
Wow. That was weird. Just saying. Good, but, weird.
We took care of it, the
Simple.
lizard. Mr. Lizard.
So he says,
Mr. Lizard.
so he looks at you all, and he sort of like stops clutching the spear so tightly, but he just sort of holds it now. And it's weird because it's a bullywog size spear, so to him it comes up to like here. And he's like, Snapjaw sent you?
You're the
Uh,
draconian.
I tell you guys that.
Who's Snapjaw?
Can we ask him that?
Do you guys remember? Is that somebody we know?
No, we don't know who
I
that
don't know
is.
who that is. Do we?
We don't know. We don't know who to trust. Explain how you know Snapjaw.
Ooh.
He says, Snapjaw friend, Sharpclaw.
Snapjaw friend, Snarp Claw.
Do you know Tink Tink?
You know who Tink Tink is?
Which one?
Fair point. Sorry, fair point.
That's so good.
He says which one?
So he says, Snapjaw friend, Sharpclaw. So you want to have so Sharpclaw.
Maybe Sharpclaw's like his last name or something, or his clan
Yeah.
name.
So Snapjaw is maybe a leader lizard folk.
Yeah, it's possible we could already ran into him.
Could be higher up in the castle.
Or back when I taught those guys how to forge a little better.
Maybe. We don't know name.
Uh,
We
Don't-
don't know lizard names very well.
Don't take wrong way. You all look same.
Our eyes evolved millions of years to recognize human faces. It's just in DNA.
He says, if you friend, leave here, find Snapjaw outside.
Ah,
He's in the huts.
the
Or
huts.
the
In
long
the huts.
He says, back home outside.
Very, very far. Days, weeks.
He says, no, outside.
Right
Oh,
outside.
okay.
Ask them north.
Accent no good. I need practice.
North or south? Because there's huts. Both
Could be a longhouse. I imagine.
He opens his garb and
I start like pointing. I start like pointing there, just trying to get an idea of like which huts he's in. Like, can you point?
So as you say that, he sort of like looks up at the top of the guard tower and like thinks about going up there, and then he like thinks better of it, and then he like looks out and sees he looks out of back into the mess hall and sees all the cultists in there, and he's like, no, I don't want to go that way, and he's just like, outside, you find.
Okay.
Okay. Guess we're not gonna get much out of it.
No.
They're not.
We did really just freak him out.
We did pretty good.
Like, we got a lot of coherency out of this dude that just saw a frog skeleton, like in Cuphead. Those frogs in Cuphead are really weird.
And then you see him sort of like, he says, you find, and then he starts like looking away from you all, and he starts just like taking the, you see him start taking the spear, and he starts like trying to smooth like the mud out, almost as if he's trying to like get rid of the crime scene, sort of.
Okay, what's his name and who are we fighting?
Sharp claw.
His name is Sharpclaw, and he
You're
said
looking
to
for
find
Snapjaw.
Snapjaw.
You be quiet
Ask him
about all this.
if that murder has caused regret on his heart.
Oh,
Okay.
no,
Does
come
he feel
on.
bad for that?
You will be quiet about all this. You say nothing to no one. He says he wishes for his people to be free.
Like,
This is totally regret in his heart.
No, not that Gilius wants to be dishonest. Just thinks it's a dumb question.
I just like how
Yeah.
we're all just gung ho for seeing frogs get murdered.
I mean, I would have murdered him anyway.
Because they haven't attacked us yet.
They want to. They think about it.
No, we don't know. They
I
could
don't
just
like
be saying,
frogs.
help us.
No,
Oh.
Zay is totally against any frog-like creature
Oh,
due
yeah.
to the ones that had attacked
You
her.
got licked.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it sucked the life out of me.
All right, so it's up to you guys what you guys want to do now. So he said that
We could still go downstairs though, right? Or upstairs.
One last thing I want to ask
See.
him. Do you know where treasure goes after here?
he says, robed ones take treasure, don't know where it goes. We leave outside, they take.
Outside.
We no see.
Gotcha. And then I
Okay.
tell them.
Okay, we ask robed
Guess what?
ones. Robed ones. Alright, so
I
I
would
guess we're
say
done
tea.
with this guy. Upstairs? Or tea?
Yeah, we haven't been to tea yet.
Oh, it
Okay.
kind of looks like it's all the same room, but I guess not.
Well, except the shelter room.
It's hard to tell.
Where you guys want to go? So you're
T.
in.
From S to T.
Okay,
Could we do tea?
you can.
Is that
T.
upstairs or the same level?
Well, you're on the same level. Okay. All right.
Hi, John.
Hi.
Hi.
This is still on the same level.
Yeah, kiss.
As you enter this room, it is less wet compared to the rooms before it, but it's still fairly
I'm also
moist
less
and
wet compared to the rooms before it.
it is also it is also, but it is still damp and moldy. And the room appears to be unused. Yeah, the room doesn't appear to have much of anything in it. It's fairly dark inside, as a matter of fact. Yeah, it's fairly. There's just nothing really in here.
Okay.
What's that?
But
buzzing sound?
as you're walking, as you open
Well,
the
my dad's
door,
watching a movie, so.
let's see.
What is it?
Oh, that buzzing sound. That's my chair charger.
Oh, okay.
As you open the door, you all have dark vision, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone except Gilius.
Yeah.
Okay. As you do this, you can actually see like movement on the floor, as if the floor itself is starting to like wiggle a little bit,
Of course it is.
and you see these about a dozen of these small insects,
This is where we should have put the body, you guys.
and they start to like, as like almost as if attracted to the light. You see them start like wiggling their way towards the door, and they look kind of centipedal.
Oh.
And there's like a dozen or so of them as they sort of like uncoil around and start moving towards you all.
Are they large?
Can I see them?
There's no picture in the book.
I mean,
but
can Gilius see them, or is it too dark?
if you can't see them,
Are they like real life centipedes here that are just tiny or big?
they're fairly big.
Like giant.
Not like giant by insect
Like
standards.
Amazon rainforest.
Like the size of your forearm. Like those
Like-
actual one-sided.
Maybe a little smaller than that, but yeah, they're
Like
pretty
Amazon
big.
and stuff.
Yeah, they're pretty big.
Like they attack rats.
Yeah.
Right.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
But
Like
you can just wait till they get to the door.
the centipedes.
Yeah.
We should just leave, right?
Yeah.
I don't need to
You
mess
don't
with
mess
any
with them?
centipedes.
Can't see anything, so.
I can't see a fucking thing.
It's like,
I'm
wow,
relying
look
on
at
you
that.
all for my safety.
Yeah.
Put a foot in and let one crawl up on me.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Roll initiative.
You, as you
What's he
do that,
doing?
you sort of stick your foot in, and one of them starts to. Prepare for that.
Yeah, no, I didn't think anyone would be that stupid.
Alright. Alright, I just want to skip it again.
Yeah, you can do what you want. That's the whole point of this
Oh
game.
no, I don't like
Um,
where this is going.
We can just leave. Who's decision?
No, I definitely want you to do what you want.
All right, one of them starts to crawl up your leg, and you see that it actually it doesn't feel good as its multiple legs start making its way sort of like up your knee. It doesn't really feel just imagine a centipede crawling up your leg. It doesn't feel good, and it sort of like tries to sort of bite at you, but it's not intelligent enough to realize that you have plated armor on. And it tries to bite at you, but it's not successful. But you can tell that it just tried to bite you, as the other ones sort of start crawling your way as well.
Ooh, I can see this now, right? I saw that
You
crap
could-
happen.
You saw that, but you don't know that there's more
Okay.
coming.
I go ahead and I use Druidcraft in the middle of the room to make a little light, just to light up and see what is going on.
Okay.
Just a not
Okay.
like less bright than a light bulb, like maybe 2 or 3 candles.
Okay,
but-
let's resolve that first. Make a, let's say a dexterity save.
Sheldon, did you want to keep the leftovers in the fridge until you leave?
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah.
19.
Okay. You manage to shake this off, and as you shake that one off, the other ones, seeing this light source, you see them start moving around the room. And yeah, so now Gilius can see that, there's about a dozen of these fairly decent sized centipedes in here.
I do a perception check to see sort of what is in the room besides nasty centipedes. It's a 4 plus 7, so 11. Not great, but
All you don't see any structures. You don't see anything sort of artificial. You just see sort of like an empty room that looks like it may have had stuff in it in the past, but now it has fallen into disuse.
they have a room for all their centipedes. That's awful.
You're like, alright, I'll just back up out the doorway.
Centipede storage.
Okay.
And we can close it if we want.
Are you gonna eat the centipede, Tucker?
No.
I hear some people have rooms for their mud. We just call them mud rooms.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But centipedes, that's a new one.
All right.
Guys,
Where do you guys want to
fuck
go?
that room.
There's nothing in that room but bad stuff.
Nah.
Are they keeping those, or is it just unkept?
Like, sometimes the room gets really dirty.
Yeah.
Believe
They
me,
just
I
don't clean
know.
that one.
Believe me, I know.
So you back out of that room. You back out of T, back into S.
No wonder these people are so angry. They're just unclean.
He is looking for food. He is like, where is the food? Took the chicken out of there.
Mm-hmm.
I think he just wants to sit in a lunchbox. That's almost as good for a cat.
Oh, poor thing can't fit in there.
Every time my mom comes home and puts her purse on the counter, LeBron will come by and just put his 2 front legs in there and try to like sit in it, but he's way too big, so he's just got his 2 front legs in it.
I've seen videos of cats getting stuck in stuff because they're too big to fit in something and they try to anyway.
Yeah. Our cats have never gotten stuck.
All right. So you're back in S.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I guess no creepy centipedes for us.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if we had grown like that, we're on friendly.
They'd just be preoccupied, maybe, with that.
Oh, that's cool too.
All right. So, like I said, this is a sandbox sort of chapter. So it's wherever you guys want to go.
Did we go upstairs yet?
Do you guys want to go up? Well, actually, this leads down, back
Oh,
into
it's
the
down.
back into the tunnels.
Back
Okay.
into the tunnels we were in before, or different tunnels?
Well, I guess you have to go down, but
Because the other ones didn't look like they had any other upstairs.
Mhm.
And he was a bat.
Oh yeah, when I had to leave, you guys were killing that jelly thing with all the gold in it.
no,
Did
they
that-
didn't kill it. They ran.
We ran, yeah.
But yeah, it leads down. Pretty sure it leads down. Okay. Leads down the cavern. Yep, it leads down.
Sending someone down. Be right there. Bye. John!
Let me see. Hold
Go
on a second.
Pop! Go get it!
What'd she just say?
Go!
Just telling John to
I
go
am
upstairs.
too! No, I did not. I said you had to get it. Why not?
Yep, it leads down.
Me too.
How does this work? For some reason, it just assumes that like if you go down, you always wind up in the same place somehow.
You're fine.
But whatever.
We could wait a moment if you want.
Alright, I'll be back.
Yeah. So if you go down, you wind up back in the dungeon again.
Okay, so
Where
in
do
that
you-
case, forget that.
Same place, I think.
The same place.
Same.
Maybe all their stairs
Magical.
go like this.
Yeah, they all lead. You all wind up. You wind up in the same place in the dungeon, no matter where you in the
That
castle.
doesn't make any
You go
sense.
down.
It's you gotta go through a tunnel, like a hallway.
So you'll be back down in the dungeon.
Yeah, but that means from the other one when we went down, we could have found another way to go up.
No. You're in the castle. You go down. You have to go through the secret Disney arcology tunnels, and then you go down into the cave. And there's the one entrance that you have to go through, and the cave's under.
That's stupid.
Yeah, well, that's how they designed castles back then. Arcologies.
My vote would be D and then U.
Oh, down below,
That's my
there was a
vote.
locked door
To U.
in the cave.
Did Garen not pick it?
Only Bat Gilly went there.
Ah, okay.
We didn't actually
Yeah,
travel to it.
it's so deep in there.
There were a lot of frogs and stuff.
We might go back though.
Yeah.
My vote's U.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, I think you missed it Al last time.
Oh yeah.
Last time you said, you guys go into pee. And it was so fun.
Alright, so you guys want to exit. You make your way out back into the mess hall and then go out the doors into the central courtyard. And as you open this door, you enter. This appears to lead into sort of like the guts of the castle here, like the main keep. A stout wooden door in good repair is in front of you, and you open the door, and it enters into it looks like a smaller version of the mess hall, actually. It's got a few tables and some benches, and there's a spiral staircase leading up to the second floor
Did you see Solo?
in this room.
No.
There's a scene where these dogs are chasing them.
But
They're
are
actual
also
dogs in
two
costumes.
other doors in here.
That's awesome.
Know that.
So it looks like there's a staircase, a spiral staircase in this room that leads up to the second
I
floor.
knew I was seeing spiral staircases, even though they didn't exist in any of the other rooms where they're clearly shown.
hmm And then you see there are two other doors in this room as well. So this is like a central. This sort of leads up. This is like the center part of the castle.
That
So
sounds
should we
good.
look at the view?
Yeah,
Sounds
we're
like it's
like-
empty.
Relative, like, there's nobody in here, but it's like a small like lounge area with a spiral staircase leading upstairs. And then there are two other rooms adjacent.
So just look at the views?
Yeah, look at the
Okay.
southwest view.
All right. These appear to be sleeping quarters. They look very comfy. Let me see. You do see, actually, in one of the rooms, I'm just going to use the same thing for both. You do see a pair of clothes here that you recognize. It appears to be, sort of looking at it. You make a perception check.
I'm on it. 21.
19 plus 7. 26.
It looks like at least a pair of these robes look vastly different from regular cultist robes. And you seem to remember that Asbara wore robes just like these.
Oh my god, you
The red
guys.
mage's robe.
You seem to recognize those.
Yeah.
You also see in the room. Oh, okay. You have the whole thing of Pepsi. Alright. You also see a box in this room that appears to have a padlock on it.
Garen?
It appears to be a very strong box with a padlock, and the box itself is inlaid with silver redwood.
Matilda.
Silver inlaid redwood.
It's just a hand coming up. You just have a floating arm in your shot.
Oh,
Can we
that's
use
so
her?
funny.
Use her sheet right here.
Okay.
It's a lot.
You dropped one!
Okay.
So Matilda,
Yeah, what's up?
we just found some clothes that match what Asbara was wearing.
The red mage. From Thay.
Yeah.
So,
What, is he running around naked?
No, it's not.
maybe.
It's-
Maybe.
We don't think we found his clothes. We found similar clothes.
Oh, okay, Doc.
The robes.
So the cult might be working with the Asbaran delegation.
Asbaran, he's a race now.
Oh yeah, the
That's his name.
Theyan delegation. Good point.
So where are
They are working together.
They're in. You guys are in the middle, so in rooms V.
Okay.
There are two room V. There are two Vs.
I think we should
Can
take the
Garen roll a lockpick check for that chest?
Sure.
Well, first off, Gilius is going to inspect it magically. Just look for magic stuff. Oh wait, can't you burglar's lens it?
Yeah,
Garen
burglar.
has it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Garen's just gonna look at it real hard with the burglar lens.
Okay. Looking inside the box, you see. You can see that there appear to be some books in it. Yeah, that's all you see. There's a lot of books in there.
Obviously, those
They
are-
seem to be in various stages of, like, some of them look brand new and pristine, others look old and weathered.
From just looking at the box, does anything look like it's trapped?
I'd say make a. It depends on what kind of check you want to make.
Like, I mean, looking at the box with the burglar lens.
Okay. Well, the burglar lens tells you what's in the box.
Okay, gotcha.
Can't read.
So then Garen is going to check for traps, which I bet is going to be an investigation check, which I
Yeah.
think is +1 for Garen.
I have it.
Oh, you have it?
+5 investigations.
It's 5, nice. Oh, that's a total of 20.
All right. You don't see any mechanical-based traps.
And Gilius is definitely going to look for magic stuff in and about the box, like magical traps. Oh, that's a 3 + 1. It's 4.
Okay. You don't notice anything.
Okay.
But that was a 4.
It was a 4.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we don't really
Oh,
know
that's
it's a
okay.
4. Should Garen pick the lock?
Arcana check.
Here you
That's
go.
what-
Oh, nice. It's a +8.
You can tell
7, I
based
think.
on your experience, and you
Put
sort of
7
like
these tools?
feel
Should be
outside
+8,
the box, and you
because she
can
doubles
feel that there
proficiency.
is. You sense some kind of magic is either coming from the box, either on the outside or inside.
Alright, I hope it's not like what happened that one time we opened the box.
Yeah, that was a mechanical trap, though. That was bad.
That was bad.
So, what do you think? Or what does Cadence think?
It feels magical.
Magical or bad magical? You gotta tell us.
That would be if it identified.
You're
I
top-
don't have to identify the school of magic. I can
Don't
just,
you have the identify spell?
I do.
Oh yeah, but it's a
or
spell.
detect magic works as well.
I have detect magic.
There we go.
Hey.
Yeah, let's detect that magic. Do you?
Okay.
Sorry, do you want to detect the magic?
I'll detect some magic.
She's detecting magic.
Okay. You detect.
Nat
I don't think you have to. I don't believe you have to roll for that.
No.
It just happens.
1. Okay, never mind.
You take like a minute and do like a ritual or whatever, and you just sort of feel around it. You can definitely feel that the magic is coming from. Actually, you feel that the magic is coming from both. You feel that the magic coming from the box itself appears to be of the conjurations of the evocation school.
Yeah, that means it's gonna hit us with a fireball if we open it without speaking the command word or something like that.
Ooh. Doesn't like that. I like death. Who doesn't like that?
Okay, idea. Gilius takes a piece of chewing gum that he definitely has with him and just jams it in the lock. Just cause. Right? Cause then whoever has to open it is like, I can't open it now, someone put chewing gum in the lock. Gilius has the pot of weird glue from the cave, like one of the original caves we were in.
This is true.
I don't know if he wants to do it, but if we want to fuck up a lock, we got glue.
It has to be heated, but yeah.
It's already magical.
It just needs to get hot. Some kind of way.
Probably woodcraft heat in the hands. But I don't think that's really going to help anyone. It's just going to give us the satisfaction of knowing we fucked someone's lock.
Okay, but yeah, so you know that there's this box is definitely magical, both inside and out.
So there's books in there, like library books. Do they have titles? Can we read what
You
that says?
can't read them.
Probably not very
You
usually.
can't see you can't see that much. You just know they're books. You
It's
can't
like-
read like the titles.
I always kind of thought it'd be like if you have a lot of those overhead projector transparencies stacked on top of each other.
No, I get that, but you said you could only see 5 feet, right?
5 feet like
And
through the
you
structure.
can't read words, it seems like.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna be able to like read this is a book of something. You just know it's a book.
And some are old and some are new.
Yeah, you can tell that much. You can't see well enough to actually read the print.
Is that near the wizard robe?
It's in the same room, so the robe would be
is
on
it
the
like
dresser.
in the same room? I like the same look like the same bed area, or is
Yeah.
it someone else's? Okay, this might be powerful spell books of necromancy.
Yeah.
Well, there's no way to disarm and dispel this trap.
Option B: we take the box and we throw it out the window into the moat. Right?
He's like, no,
Fuck your books.
no, you can
My
never
God.
get them again. Ruins.
Holy shit. It's like, I picture this as like a sitcom, and this is our jazz being thrown out the door. Just throw stuff out the fucking window. Fuck your stuff.
First, you want to push the bullywog out of the window. Like on the first floor.
Yeah. Cause guys,
I
it's
vote
hilarious.
Since we can't dispel it.
Oh wait, I have Dispel Magic. Oh hey guys, fuck all of you. I cast Dispel Magic on the box. If it's a spell of 3rd level or lower, the spell immediately ends. If not, I have to do a check. May I see this player's handbook?
Yes, you may, sir.
That's not the book I need.
So basically, the
These
question
are
is,
the
what
books you're looking
spell
at.
is it, or what equivalence of a spell? Fuck your box. And I can't cast it as anything other than a 3rd level spell.
Hey Matilda, are you using the live stream?
The YouTube thingy?
Yeah.
Not currently. I can pretty much see the table mostly from here.
Okay.
want that?
Something going on?
Oh, I was just wondering. I was thinking about disconnecting
You do
it
that?
so I could use my
Yes,
phone.
I dispel the magic. I tell everyone to stand back a little bit and then dispel it.
Okay.
We're at a range of 120 feet, so I get really far away.
Okay. You do that, and you can sort of see like sort of a magical air, a bubble sort of appears around the
Okay.
box, and then you almost see it like sort of like there's a